going on, everybody? It's your boy King Gabe here with another abnormal discovery. Yet another one of these. Pretty much right after talking about the trains. Yeah, and I know previous, like I say, once again, it's kind of started after uh, Christina and I mentioned about us being autistic. And then there was, of course, the ducks, traffic lights, and road maps. Also, there was one I forgot to mention in the last video that was done. The whole multiverse thing that was also part of the abnormal discoveries, um, in a way. So, and then little stuff around it. So now, after talking about the trains, we're now talking about dolls. Dolls. Just to make sure, because sometimes that enunciation can throw people off. There, as Jay from My Wife and Kids say, you better enunciate. Dolls, dolls. So yeah, dolls. Yeah, and also some issues that I had with my speech teacher about getting me to say the cat went across the street. The cat went across the street. You don't stop spitting in my face. So anyway, before we go into this, definitely make sure y'all like, share, subscribe, leave some comments, uh, buy some available comic books, as well as also support us on Patreon like EJ the Supreme. Or you could be a sponsor like our sponsor for this month of December that this video is being recorded, even though it might be coming out in January, but we're still giving shout out with Keon's. Oh, let me say it again. Keon Smith. So either be a Patreon like EJ the Supreme, or a sponsor like Keon Smith, or do both. All up to you. We'll take the support will be still well received. And now let's get right into what we're here to talk about. Dolls. Dolls. Yes, I'm going to keep saying the spelling of it to make. I'm going to keep saying the spelling of it. Why does he keep saying it? Because I am. Okay. So anyway, I mean you're in the playlist of abnormal discoveries. So yeah, and I'm a pretty abnormal person. So and so is my wife. So we're an abnormal couple. So, yeah. So which is how I like it. Anyway, with the DOLLS dolls. Now, yes. So one thing I am definitely aware of is definitely that when it comes to talking about like dolls and association with them, mostly it's targeted for girls. Mostly it's the girl thing to play with the dolls. The tea party and Barbies and stuff like that. But yeah, and then usually if a boy is into something like that, it's usually kind of unusual, and he kind of start thinking some things about the boy. So yeah. So anyway, so like I said, just to clarify, well, let's just go into it now. So yes, I kind of have part of a fascination with dolls a little bit there, even though and and just to clarify, completely straight guy, because obviously married, lovely wife and everything. Not doing any funny business or anything like that. Just to clear that up, clear that air up. So yeah, I do have some fascination with dolls, which also explains why not only I took Christina to see the Barbie movie that recently came out, but yeah, but I actually had an interest in wanted to see it myself. It wasn't just okay, baby, I'll take you to see this movie. Okay, how much longer this movie got? Barbie, yay, Barbie, yay. I'm a baby. So it wasn't just I was just there. No, I actually did want to see the movie, just like she did. Oh, cause I was like, yeah, Barbie, yeah, okay, live action Barbie movie. Yeah, I got to see this. Yeah, so, yeah, that was my reaction to the trailer. Yeah, I got to see this. Yeah, so and chances are, we end up having our first kid. If our first kid ends up being a daughter, there are chances that you'll definitely see stuff related with dolls around here, DOLLS, especially Barbies, because they are the trademark of dolls. So yeah, I actually was interested to see the Barbie movie. Definitely enjoyed it, just like she did. Even enjoyed I even and like her, I even enjoyed some of the like the made for kids Barbie movies, which I think a lot of them are CGI films, which actually pretty good film. They got like Barbie and a Mermaid's Tale, and then I think there's like a few others um, that we may have possibly seen. I'm not complete, but I know we've seen the Mermaid Tale. Um, and then of course I don't I think this kind of considered more plush toy category more so than dolls. But yeah, I know there's My Little Pony. We actually did. It was a while. Probably be watch it again at some point because we're kind of looking through, just kind of trying to looking through movies. Especially since we're not reviewing them or anything like that. So yeah, more time to actually just look through movies. Yeah, um, My Little Pony movie. Actually, that My Little Pony movie was really good. This is coming from me. I really enjoyed the My Little Pony movie. I was like, wow, this is a good movie. So back with the dolls thing. I actually now like I said, there when I was a kid growing up, there was a show that used to come on called the Big Comfy Couch. And I don't know if any of y'all have ever seen that show. Um, from what I hear, I think it's a. Now I didn't know this back then, but looking back on that, I actually found out that it's actually a Canadian show. At least I think it is. Let's see, Big Comfy. Yeah, it's a Canadian show. Say, real good. Just go to show you got some real good stuff from Canada. Yeah, thumbs up to Canada for that one. Uh, so just in case you never heard or seen it, yeah, that's kind of that was the main character, Lunette, and the characters were clowns. That's why they got clown noses. So it was a Lunette, was the girl, and her doll Molly, as you can see her snuggling. They, that's another picture of them there. So yeah, that was so that was that. And one thing watching this show, two things that made me like that fascinated that made me. Okay, let me try it again. Two things I got fascinated with watching this show: clown noses. I actually went out and got and tried and actually wore a clown nose sometimes there that my mom had got me. And then um, the other thing that I got into was Molly. Yeah, I actually, um, I may have possibly when I because you know how when you're a kid and you watch certain shows, you have a crush on certain characters in the show. I may have possibly had one on Lynette. I never. Um, it's possible. I'm not completely sure. I know I've had quite a few crushes on different TV characters. Different TV girl characters like that. Um, so Lunette may have been on the list of one of them. But I did also have a fascination for her doll Molly, and yes, I know I'm a guy, but I actually, if I were to be being a straight guy, if I were to have a personal like a doll that I myself would like, yeah, I'm gonna play with this doll. That it would be the doll from Big Comfy Couch Molly. Because I don't know, there's something about that particular doll is a fascination to me there. Yeah, sort of like I mentioned in the last video about the train. So yeah, that yeah, pretty abnormal there. But yeah, I have I actually like how how the doll Molly was there, as well as the rest of the show. Um, then there was also another kind of weird thing involving dolls, but in a good way, if you consider it, depending on your point of view. Um, Also, when I was growing up as a little kid, especially elementary, um, going through different crushes and stuff. Um, while I was actually nervous about actually kissing a girl in real life, yeah, sort of, so, sort of like Charlie Brown with the little redhead girl. She's coming over here. She's coming over here. What do I do? What do I do? What do you do? so, um, so yeah, because of that, yeah, in private, I would imagine myself, say, kissing some of the girls I had a crush on. However, there was a particular doll, the DOLL, that my grandparents had at their house. It would, I guess you could consider it a life size doll. I mean, I'm definitely taller than the doll now because I'm an adult. But as a kid, yeah, I think the doll would be probably close to my height back then. It's kind of the height of, say, like a 5 or 6 year old, height wise there. So yeah, there was a doll about that height that was in my grandparents' room, and the doll had her the way the doll was made. She had her mouth kind of open a bit, and so as a kid, uh, I as a when no one was looking, I'd go in there where the doll was at and practice kissing on the doll. So yeah, there was that. There, yeah, that was. I mean, I know that wouldn't exactly count as a first official kiss because it's the doll, not a real person. But as a kid, yeah, that I did do that. It was kind of sort of like, yeah, I know this show is not very kid friendly, but this show King of the Hill, when Bobby had a was practicing kissing on a mannequin head that his sister, I think it was his sister had for beauty school there. I think it was his sister. I'm not sure. But it was a female mannequin head that he practiced kissing on there. but I put it this way: at least it's a lot better than some people that kiss brooms or mops. At least dolls and mannequin heads are sanitary. Just saying. So yeah, that so yeah, that there was that. Yeah, I did that. Now, of course, we have to. Now, of course, much like how I told you about the fascination I had with trains, and then how, now what was the bad part about the train? Well, here's the bad part about the dolls. Now just like the trains, this doesn't all of a sudden, you know, oh, now he must hate dolls. No, it's not. Now I know some people this probably would turn them off dolls. In some cases they don't even like them to begin with because of this, and it's understandable. It's understandable on something like dolls, yeah, because yeah. So they got movies about creepy dolls like Chucky and all that. Yeah, obviously I know that would probably scare a lot of people there. It's Chucky. My Big Papa would watch that all with a lot of time we came in on for Sunday dinner when I was growing up. Big Papa would be watching that movie on TV, and when me and my cousins come in, he'd turn around. He'd be sitting in his chair, and we come in where he was at. He'd turn around like, "Hey, Big Papa, it's Chucky." So yeah, that's one thing Big Papa really like a lot of those horror movies and stuff like that. Yeah. Um. So yeah, there was that. Yeah, he like this Chucky and Freddy Krueger and all that. So there was that, and then of course we know any kid that's grown up watching Fox Kids knows about Goosebumps. Even if you don't, you probably do. There's probably another way you might have learned about Goosebumps from the books. So yeah, because it was a book series and then they made it into a TV series. Um, He's Slappy. Yes, creepy Slappy. And yes, I had the pleasure of reading both the Goosebumps books and watching the TV show. And I will tell you right now, there are some stories that work better with the books, and some that work better on TV, and some that go either way. Um, Slappy, I guess you could probably say that goes either way. Yeah, that was, yeah. Cause I remember I not very much, but I do remember watching the TV episodes of Slappy. But I remember more so from the book, yeah, of Slappy because there was I think I read there was more because I think it was like Slappy and Slappy's Revenge and all that. Boy, that was a creepy doll. Yes, and of course he was the big baddie in the Goosebumps the live action Goosebump movie that came out starring Jack Black as R.L. Stein. So, and boy, did they make a mob boss villain a Slappy. Yeah. So going aside from that, into the creepy horror factory, probably the scariest, most personal scary moment I've had involving a doll was, of course, the ghost doll in Pokemon. Let me explain about that. So any of y'all that's watched Pokemon know you probably have seen. Um, I would say I would kind of call it a three-parter, because there was Abra and the Psychic Showdown, the Tower of Terror, and then Hunter versus Kadabra. So you kind of could consider that a three-parter. Um, I know the Tower of Terror was basically just them going to capture a ghost Pokemon. Sabrina was not in that, but she was in Abra, the Psychic Showdown, and Hunter versus Kadabra. Um, so in so Ash, of course, was dealing had to get the Marsh badge, and he had to defeat Sabrina in order to get it. Sabrina is a psychic Pokemon trainer, um, and in the show, she was now, of course, it's not like that in the games, but in the show, um, when they before they even met the gym leader, there was this little girl, all dressed in white, had blue hair. Hello. Yeah, she would be giggling a lot. She didn't really say much until they got to the gym, and she even had a little white hat and everything. Um, and she sort of looked kind of like a doll. And when they saw her at the gym, she was like, "I'd like to have a match, but if you lose, you have to be my friends and let me play with you." Uh, okay, you bet. Just don't let your guard down, Ash. And it was revealed that yeah, Sabrina shows up. So time for us to play. So she was holding the little girl, sort of similar to that of a doll. That's what kind of made me think of her as a ghost doll, because she was all in white and she was being held like a doll by Sabrina, which of course found out later from her father that due from Sabrina's backstory, she was actually split into two girls, and oh yeah, her father did say that that was a doll she was holding, but that doll that Sabrina holds represents her true self before she changed. So yeah, it represent her as a lonely girl that wanted to make friends, and Sabrina in her current state was all like serious and yeah, pretty real dark, real dark. I'll just say that. So yeah, that was so yeah, that the doll that she held surprisingly gave me nightmares. I remember I was telling a couple of my telling one of my former nursery students, Anisha, about this. I've mentioned her a few times with the comic book she made, Dora, that she made a while back ago. So I was, her and her sister were helping me with a book signing a while back in 2019. And I remember while we they were helping me out with it because Christina had to work that day, so they offered um, to help out with the book signing. Yeah, Nisha as well as her older sister, and they so we were kind of talking while we were setting up and stuff, and one of the things that came up in while we were talking to each other, uh, I mentioned about certain nightmares I had, and I mentioned about the ghost doll. And with that ghost doll, this was the nightmare. Okay, so in the nightmare, I was actually at my old church before Brookwood. I was at my old church, and which is New Bethlehem, by the way. Uh, and all of a sudden, two of my friends there came after me and like started chasing after me. It was really kind of scary too. Um, and then they had me cornered, uh, where I couldn't. I was cornered in a corner, and I didn't see nowhere to escape. Then they stopped, and the ghost doll hovered in front of them, facing me, and her eyes lit up, glowing white, saying, "Now, Gabe, I'm gonna kill you." Ah! So yeah, that was like what? That's and I'm gonna say that's even darker than what she said in the TV in the Pokemon series. I don't know what she said in the Japanese version of that show, but that's scarier than what I heard. Because I never did see only episode I've seen in Japanese of Pokemon was the banned episodes there. But I've never seen the Japanese of any of the other episodes. So, uh, yeah, that's a lot darker than what was presented there. Because in the original episode, the English dub, she turned Brock and Misty into dolls, and then floated up facing Ash. Now I'm gonna turn all of you into dolls. Yeah, so it's like, yeah, my dream was a bit darker, but guess if you really think about it, because there was a scene in the episode she didn't come out and say that she was going to kill them, but there was one scene where she put Ash, Misty, and Brock in her dollhouse, and they were on the run from Sabrina. Then the doll came down in the dollhouse. She was a giant compared to them, almost like a giant coming toward them with her ball, with playing, her little bouncy ball. They're like, we're gonna have a ball. I want to play catch. Whoa! And threw the ball toward them. This is why I say, yeah, they may not come out and say it, but she kind of would have killed them if Sabrina's dad didn't get them out of there. Because that ball, since she was a giant, that ball was also giant. The ball was even bigger than Ash, Misty, and Brock. And if they got flattened by that thing, oh yes. But yeah, so yeah, he kind of was gonna do it there. That was fun. Let's play again sometime. Okay. So yeah, there was that. Yes, that was pretty creepy and definitely gave me quite creepy nightmare fuel there. But because of it, as an adult, looking back on it, probably gonna use that. Not I don't want to get sued by Pokemon, but a reference to that. Sort of like a lot of other things that is referenced in my Yami that's gonna be referenced in my Yamiiko series. Um, when I was making the comics, the rough drafts for the comics, and I only got 2 books of Yamiiko before Photoshop was like, I give up, I don't work. But I had like up to 10 rough drafts before I even uh, started getting the 2 comic books out. Before I even started the first one with the pictures and all that, and got like I said, 2 of them published comic books. So in those rough drafts, well, I didn't exactly have a rough draft of this, but there was an idea that at some point, I think somewhere like between issue 11 to 20, somewhere between those issues, that Hiko and his friends were going to come to some town, and there were going to be living dolls, just like how you got the anthropomorphic animals, which are pretty much like are meant to be the plush toys come to life. There would be living dolls there, and yeah, they would kind of trap Hiko and his friends there. And it was, like I said, I don't exactly remember what details I had going for it, but it was definitely going to involve. There were two characters it was going to involve: Tim and Melina, which were two characters that Casey made. They were going to have to save everybody from the evil dolls there, because there actually was going to be some good dolls there. So it wouldn't be like, yeah, like I say, it's not all dolls are evil. So it was just a group of evil ones that, as some of us would say, sadistic, and yeah, it was kind of, so yeah, it was kind of like a rescue from them. Pretty much reference to the ghost doll I just mentioned that gave me nightmare fuel. There was also another idea behind that same storyline where it was going to involve Hiko, um, where it would be revealed that Hiko had remember I just mentioned a little earlier in this video that that I kissed the doll that my grandparents had to practice, actually kissing a girl, sort of like Bobby and King of the Hill practicing kissing on that mannequin. So, um, much like that, it was gonna be a thing where the doll that Hiko kissed was actually alive and upset that Hiko was with Naomi, and it was like you, and the doll would be like, "You kissed me. I belong. I am with you now." Yeah. So yeah, there was a thought of that. I don't know if I would bring that idea into this new Yumiko novel at any point, or if I did, how I would write that. Obviously, I would definitely have. Obviously, I had to keep it PG, much like a lot of stuff here, even on this channel. This like that, I mentioned about the doll in my nightmare saying I'm going to kill you. So yeah, I try to keep it at least no higher than PG, both with this channel and with the books. Um, Obviously, we don't have no like swear words or anything like that in the books, or even here, or try not to have any swear words here. Um, so yeah, definitely try to keep it PG here. The atmosphere. So yeah, it would definitely have to be kept at that level if I do decide to do something like that. Um, so yeah, that would. So that's the thought there. Excuse me. And one last thing I definitely would want to mention before wrapping this up. Um, I know. Now, of course, this is not exactly a very PG friendly movie, but I'm just mentioning it. Some of you might know it, some of you might not. The Megan movie with the three in the word. Yeah, actually, it's actually not a bad movie there. Now everybody probably has their own opinions about this movie as well. Very understandable whether you like or dislike it, but yeah, I mean, to me, Christina, it's pretty good little movie. Um, yeah, and the little AI doll. That's the one reason I even mentioned about it because it's a this is probably the closest to a living doll that we would probably get in the real world. A doll that has an AI system, a really advanced AI system, and all that. Sort of similar to the movie AI from years ago with the robot boy. So in this case, a robot doll, and yeah, so yeah, you definitely see it for yourself. Definitely gets really scary. But there are some good points to the movie. One thing I really like is the auntie and her niece. Yeah, they what they kind of go through. with the focus between them and the doll. Really, cause because both of them really learn a lot uh, from each other and the situation that really brings them together to be even be better people toward each other as well as other people. So yeah, that's so yeah, you see, yeah, stuff like that. Yeah, it definitely gets my attention. Yeah, and yeah, throwing a creepy doll and then some. Okay, that's, but so yeah, there is that, and so yeah, definitely, yeah, that's pretty much all I got to say there. And like what you heard and everything, definitely like, share, and subscribe. Support us on that Patreon like AJ the Supreme, or be a sponsor like Keon Smith. And also, and like I say, like, share, subscribe, and buy some comic books. And also, you can do both the Patreon and the sponsor. Uh, Either way, we'll be definitely glad to get the support. And that's all. That's all, folks. As Porky Pig say, that's all, folks.